that don't want what we know out there.
How a person can go from really almost nothing to becoming a millionaire by owning rental properties.
He would always buy these flip houses, and I just remember thinking, this guy is crazy. Why would he buy that house?
In the past decade, there's been a huge surge in the peer-to-peer short-term rental market.
Become an insider. So you have to know the rules before you get the game.
Every second counts. So make every second count.
Welcome to the Real Estate Jam. Whether you're just beginning or the best of the best, we're glad you're here. We will share successes, failures, and strategies for the action-taking real estate investor. And now to your hosts, JD and Melissa.
Hi guys, welcome to the Real Estate Jam podcast. I'm JD with my wonderful co-host.
Good day to you, sir.
Melissa.
Happy day.
Happy day. What do you got going on today, Melissa?
Oh, I'm just waiting for you to take me to eat and have a couple beverages, adult beverages.
Yeah, it's about that time. So
how about you?
Not a lot. I've been working a lot, making some calls, updating our return mail, talking to some of our team members. And that really kind of got me thinking, there's so many different activities that you can be doing, so many different things you should be doing. And a lot of newer investors, I think there's so many things that you can do in this business. They don't know which things they should be focusing on. What does their actual day look like? What income generating activities should I be doing? Mm-hmm. I definitely think that what you should be doing changes based off of where you're at in the game. If you have a full team built out, well, then you should probably not be cold calling, right? Or if you don't have any team, then maybe cold calling should be one of your priorities. But I'm hoping we can talk today a little bit about what a typical day should look like, or what new investors should be looking to do, and kind of the reasons why they should be doing it.
Great idea.
Great idea.
I love that.
Awesome. So how do you need to prioritize the activities that you're doing to the time that you have to do them. A lot of newer investors are working a W-2 job. So some of these activities you might need to prioritize based off of the time of day that you have left to do it. You can pull your list, pull your data at midnight or 2 a.m, and that's fine, but you're going to have a really hard time getting a hold of your leads at midnight or 2 a.m. So
you could talk about how we used to do that when we had W-2 jobs.
Yeah, that's right. When we had W-2 jobs, we would go and work our regular W-2 job. When a lead would come in, or somebody on our team would get a hold of a lead, or we'd take the lead, if we could take it at work, we would take it. But what we found was we were missing a lot of that. So we looked for ways to hire it out, and we hired a service called Pat Live, which was just an answering service. They took the bare minimum information from a script that we provided them. They charged based off of how many minutes they called or that they were on the phone. And that was one really good solution for not being available. And then, of course, when we had the time, or when we got off of work, we had to make those calls either during lunchtime, during the breaks, as soon as possible, because ideally the best way to handle a lead is to answer the phone call and talk to them right then. The next best time to call the lead is as soon as you can.
Yeah.
So
then, what I was really saying is, when we had somebody screening them, then at night we would run numbers on them. That's how we made that part of it work.
Yeah, that's right. So we get the call in, somebody would screen them. If it seemed like it would be a good deal, then I would run numbers at night so that it was ready for the person who's available to talk the very next day.
Yeah.
And that worked well. It's not ideal, but when you have a W-2 job or other commitments, some people don't have a job. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom and you're trying to do real estate on the side. Well, you still have kids and other commitments that you need to do. The big thing is that your other commitments don't use them or let them be an excuse for why you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But when I'm looking at what I should be doing throughout the day, there's a couple of different categories of things that have to be done. With the number one priority is and the way to kind of look at it, the theory behind it is, what is the one thing I can do to put money into my pocket today? What's the one thing I can do to put the money into my pocket tomorrow, and just work back from that. So, there's a couple of things that we have to do. It's, marketing, getting the leads to call us or getting the leads to identify, talking to the leads, vetting the leads, qualifying them, finding the solution and finding their problem, going on the appointments. If you need to go on an appointment, there's a lot of ways to virtually wholesale, or to virtually invest, making offers and negotiating contracts. And then the transaction coordination or dispo process. Now, if you're a flipper, there's other things like project management. If you're a landlord, there's rent collection, tenant verification, all of that kind of stuff. But all of those things revolve around getting the deal. So I'm looking at it through the eyes of a wholesaler, flipper, or somebody who's looking for off-market properties. And I think there's different levels. So like what my priorities are today are different than what they were when I was investing by myself as a one-man show. But regardless of where you're at, you have to be making sure that your marketing is getting done, whether you're doing postcards or text messages or cold calls. Marketing has to be done, and it should be being done every single day, because you're never going to get a lead into the pipeline to be able to worry about dispo. You're never going to be able to talk to a seller. You're never going to be able to do any of those things if people don't know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. So that's marketing, not to be confused with branding, even though they do go hand in hand sometimes. I'm talking about making your company and your solutions known to the potential sellers, that kind of marketing, postcards, direct mail, all of that kind of stuff. You need to be doing that every day or as much as possible until you start getting those leads coming.
And even if you don't have any money, driving for dollars is always great.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't have leads in your pipeline and you need them, driving for dollars and calling them from your own cell phone.
Yeah. And even if
top of my list,
even if that is something that you want to do, learn as you go, drive for dollars and team up with another wholesaler or a flipper or whatever. There's ways to do it with no money. I never thought there was, I came into it not believing that, but after I did my first wholesale deal, I definitely was a believer that you didn't have to spend any money.
Yeah. And you don't, but what you do, if you don't spend money, you have to spend time,
right,
or you have to have the knowledge to help to leverage other people. I mean, that's really what it comes down. So once you've made sure that you've done your marketing for the day, I think the next most important thing is to be talking to leads. And I should say, if I'm in the middle of cold calling and a lead comes in, I stop cold calling and take the lead, because that's somebody that's raised their hand. And that should be the priority. You would stop doing your direct mail order or printing your postcards if somebody was calling you saying, "Hey, I need to sell my house," and you never know if it's going to be a hot lead or not when they're calling you. So make sure to make those a priority.
Or just mean people calling you.
Or mean people. That's a lot. That's a lot of it. They
Stop sending me letters.
Well, did you tell that to Domino's when they gave you the $5 off coupon? So talking to leads. So what I think you should be doing is definitely calling the leads back during the daytime. So if you have 2 hours in the morning, you should probably spend that marketing and doing that kind of stuff. Identifying lists, pulling lists, sending your postcard, doing that kind of stuff before everybody else is awake. If you have any time during the day, you should either be cold calling yourself, or if you have leads built up, following up with the leads that you already have, asking the qualifying questions, trying to figure that out. Then once a lead is qualified, you need to figure out, are you going to make them an offer, or do you need to see the property? And going on appointments should trump talking to leads who aren't ready to sell yet. It should trump doing your cold calling. It's the next step in getting that money into your pocket is going on appointments and making offers. You can't always, you don't always have enough time to analyze every single property that you get, and you shouldn't. You should only be analyzing and taking the time to analyze the properties that have the potential to be a deal for you. So learning how to prioritize which leads you should be focusing the majority of your time on, and then realizing that they become a priority when they're ready to sell and when you're going on an appointment and trying to make an offer or negotiate the property.
Yeah. And I think at the beginning, it's difficult to figure that out. Which leads?
Yeah, well, it definitely is. And once you've talked to 500 people, you'll know the difference between somebody who is and isn't motivated. I go back to, when you're talking to people, remember, if you can't say the right thing to the wrong person and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. I got that phrasing from Matt Terrio. And it's true. Like, so many people, especially new, get stumbled up or nervous about what they're going to say to a person on the phone. Well, if you answer the phone and you're able to provide a solution to them that they need, selling their house quickly or selling their house for cash, then it doesn't matter if you don't ask the right question just the right way. That's not, if you not asking the right question is the difference between you getting the deal and you not getting the deal, then it probably wasn't a deal to begin.
It's hard at first. All of this part is hard.
It is, yeah, it is super hard. And a lot of it just takes reps of having the same conversation. Eventually, once you've had 1,000 conversations, you
get tough skin.
Well, you definitely get tough skin, but you also realize that there's only a couple of different types of personalities. You have some guys that are aggressive, some people that are meek, some people that are really interested but are wasting your time, some people who are just lonely and want to talk, and you'll start to be able to pick that up. I guess the number one income generating activity for me is presenting offers. And so to get to that point, we have to do all of these other things. And there's always something to do with this business. So if you're ever curious of, I don't know what to do right now, the answer is marketing. If you have a bunch of leads, the answer is call the leads. If you've set a bunch of appointments, you need to be going on your appointments. And if you have enough information that you feel comfortable making an offer, then the activity should be making the offer.
Do you remember when we had W-2 jobs and we were leaving and you said, I don't know what we're going to do with all this time. What will we do with all this time?
Yeah.
And I was like,
we're not going to have, so we were working full time. And for me, I was on night shift a lot of that. So that was from 6 o'clock at night till 6 a.m. with an hour or so travel time. So I would wake up at around 2 p.m, do the activities that I could do during that time, eat dinner, go to work. At work, if I needed to address something, I would do that. When I got home in the morning, I would run numbers and make sure that the people in our office had the information that I was responsible for during that time. So when I left my W-2 job, I thought we would have 12 extra hours every day to
Go to the beach. We were just going to go to the beach.
to go to the beach. But what happened is we're doing a lot more activities now because there's always more things to do, better systems to build. But especially starting out, you need to make sure that your marketing is working and going out and that you're talking to people. And if you are a step above the beginning, what you should really be focusing on and the thing that's going to put the most money into your pocket is having quality conversations with people who need and or want to sell their properties. And if you can figure out how to increase the number of quality conversations you're going to have every day, that will by default increase the number of offers that you're going to make, the number of appointments you're going to go on, the number of deals that you're going to get. So until you're having 10 to 15 quality conversations a day, you need to work on your marketing and build up slowly over time. And by the time you've put enough work into marketing and qualifying leads to have 15 quality conversations a day, you're not going to be nervous about talking to people on the phone. You're not going to be unsure about running your numbers. You're going to know what to do because it's like riding a bike. You fall down a few times, but eventually you get it, and then pretty soon you can do it without even thinking.
I would also add activities is go to local meetups. Because they're just great. I mean, that's how I really got started, was just going to local meetups, because that was just so many different people there at different levels that had so much knowledge and just the networking. And, we've made deals with people in our meetup, and we've referred deals to people in our meetup, and it's just been great. Also, JD makes everybody get up and speak. And so I think that helps too, especially with new investors.
Yeah, not only does it help you to have confidence in getting up there and letting people know what you do and what you're looking for, what your problems are, but you get to hear the way that other investors think and speak and talk, and you learn so much from just being around other people who are doing the things that you want to do. It is definitely, in most places have a meetup once a month, some places are once a week, but I would definitely recommend in your leisure time,
Making it a priority
to go to those meetups.
Drag your spouse to go too. Maybe you can get them on board with you, right?
Yeah, that's huge too, because a lot of people get into this real estate game and they're the only person doing it. And once your significant other starts to see that there are other people that are doing this for real, because before you
that are just as crazy
or crazier.
Yeah, for sure.
Before you actually start doing this, you don't know that it's possible to make $25,000 from selling a piece of paper from one person to the next.
It seems crazy.
And once you start to see real life proof of other people doing that live and in person, it's easier to grasp the concept.
Plus, that's all we talk about is real estate.
Yeah, that's true.
If I wasn't doing it too, it'd be really
we wouldn't have much to talk about. Once the real estate bug gets you, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions about the activities that you should be doing, what to do, where to find it, make sure you reach out to us, and we can jump on a call, talk about the next steps, and remember, like they say over in Bigger Pockets, you don't need to see all the steps, you just need to see the next one, take that action, and start getting some deals.
And don't forget, I'm an agent too, so I can help if anybody's looking to sell a property or if they're trying to buy something retail on the market. So
yeah, absolutely. Melissa's the best agent in the Panhandle, so
for sure.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Jam. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information, check out our website, therealestatejam.com, or find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at The Real Estate Jam. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us an email at therealestatejam@gmail.com. See you next episode.